A senior Labour MP has warned that recent controversies have damaged public trust in the police. Keith Vaz, who chairs the Home Affairs Committee, says the Hillsborough inquiry criticising police and the so-called plebgate row with Andrew Mitchell in Downing Street had contributed to what he described as a dangerous cocktail. Well, speaking a little earlier, Mr Vaz explained why he felt he needed to make these comments now.
The work that is being done up and down the country is cherished by local people and it's unrivalled in terms of an international reputation. But recent events, the Andrew Mitchell issue, the results of the Hillsborough inquiry, the fact that 26 out of the 43 police forces do not have a permanent chief constable, all these factors come together. In my view, it becomes a dangerous cocktail. We have confidence in the police not being as high as it should be. We have the police having little confidence in their jobs. Half of those surveyed wanted to do another job. So taken together, this is a worrying moment, and I just feel that it's important that we should start a dialogue. We should be very clear as to what the role and responsibilities are of the police in the 21st century.
Well, that was Keith Vaz speaking a little bit earlier. In our lead studio now is Mike Pannett, who's an author and a former police officer. A very good evening to you. Thank you for joining us this evening.
Evening, Sue.
I just wonder if you agree in any way with those comments from Keith Vaz today.
I think Keith Vaz has played sort of the middle ground today. You know, I think some of what he said is absolutely right. Absolutely, with the state of police morale, that is absolutely, without a question, at an all-time low. I'm not altogether sure that talking about the Hillsborough disaster and plebgate yet, because obviously that still has to be investigated, and quite rightly so. And I'm hoping through that the sort of frontline police officers, if you like, the people on the ground, will be shown to what exactly happened there. And I think some very senior officers on Hillsborough could well be in, you know, some serious trouble. But notwithstanding that, I think what is absolutely right, and I think this is where Keith Vaz is going, is it's time now, I believe, to look at having a Royal Commission for policing, because it's absolutely vital that this fighting and these arguments between police officers and the government at the moment is very bad for police, and it's very bad for governance. Something's got to give, and it's got to be sorted out into 2013. We cannot simply carry on the way we are.
You're right indeed to point out there are investigations ongoing, of course, into what happened at Hillsborough and the plebgate row, as it's been called as well. But would you not accept that what is already known to have occurred in both of these instances is damaging enough to affect the way that the public look at the police and their honesty?
Yeah, look, let's be absolutely right. No police officers, when I was serving, wanted to work with anybody that was corrupt or covering things up. 99.9% of police officers are absolutely fantastic people. But yes, obviously reform needs to happen, but it's how that reform has come about. There's been some dreadful, in my view, inexperienced decision-making by government, and also Policy Exchange, who actually thought about bringing in and came up with a lot of ideas in policing. There was people like Blair Gibbs earlier in the year saying that they're going to drive through police reform like the four men of the apocalypse. Now that, in one swift sentence, damaged the entire confidence of what's been happening within policing. And of course now we have certain senior officers and politicians which I believe are out of touch with what the public wants. And policing is not rocket science. It hasn't changed that much. And of course, yes, we have to reform, but it's the speed of those reforms. And they haven't taken the workforce with them, i.e. they haven't consulted at the very ground floor to keep people aware of what's going on. Change after change, it really needs some real good leadership now and some stability bringing back into policing.
You talk about what people want. I suspect the vast majority of people would say what they want from the police force is to feel safe and that they're there when they have an incident that needs to be dealt with.
Absolutely.
Morale, we're told, is low because of the restructure currently going on of the force, but the latest set of crime figures would seem to suggest that it's working because crime rates are falling in some areas.
Well, look, I hear this all the time, and it's very convenient that, and I'm not being cynical here, but I'm being realistic. The way that crime is recorded has changed somewhat. And And I think once the integrity of that is looked at and how these crimes are being recorded now, then I'll be convinced. And I could only think that would be a good thing if crime is coming down at the rate they are. But I think it's all too convenient at the moment, and I really would like to look at the...
What are you saying? It's not recorded properly?
Well, what I'm saying is there's been changes to the way police record crimes, and until that's looked into properly, which again needs to be, you know, what do the public want to know? Do they want to know actually what's happening, or is there a system in place which is, you know, the way they record crime has been changed? But it's quite surprising that, as we say, crime has fallen at the sort of same levels as this. They say the cuts are coming in. Is that too convenient? I don't know, but I think that needs to be looked at properly.
OK, Mike Pannett in our Leeds studio, thank you very much for joining us this evening.
Thanks.